Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. This is the Whiskey Jedi podcast. My name is Jake Verlaine, and I am your host. Thank you so much for joining this evening. Whether you're watching live or on the playback, I appreciate you guys. Hope everyone is doing great out there. Thursday night, first Thursday night official football is happening. If I doze off to the right-hand side, it's because I have it here on an iPad, and I have bets in fantasy football going, so I apologize. Hope everyone's doing great. We have a fun show planned. We have some interesting topics. Obviously, because it always seems to happen, we have some Marvel-related topics, and then a couple of other things that I'm very interested in talking about. And surprise, I didn't mention it anywhere before the show, but we have a guest with us this evening. Someone who has made a very big deal about never being on the show, when in fact this is his second official time being on the broadcast. So let's just go and bring him in before we get going. Everybody, you have not seen him in quite a while, but he's back on the mic, joining me once again. That is Mr. Brian Avalosino.
Hello.
What's up, buddy?
It literally has been so long. I was like, do I even remember how to do this? I was like, yeah, okay.
So it's been July, August. It's been 3 months since POV officially ended.
That's it?
Well, it's really been probably closer to 4 because we had the long-standing happy hour episode that we ended up doing like 3 weeks after the actual show ended. So we haven't been doing like the POV live show since May.
Even that seems
like 4 months. So 4 months, I guess, is what you could say.
Oh, I thought we were at like 6 months, 7 month range.
Yeah,
never mind.
It feels like a long time, but
it does.
And you haven't. This is your first time on a mic since then. Yeah, you haven't been on camera since we ended POV.
No, completely just off of it. And
does it feel weird?
Yes.
Like not being on it or being back or both?
Just doing it in general. I mean, just because it's like knocking off cobwebs. I mean, you just jump right back into it, but like the whole oh, okay, I gotta get ready. I've got like 10 minutes, and then like that was like, oh, okay, I haven't done this in a long time. And as you can see, I'm not even at my place.
I mean, you've been at your mom's plenty of times where people recognize.
Oh yeah, but like not in my. Damn it! The one time you would ask me when I'm not here, I had right now in my background at my apartment. I have my new Lego stuff, so that would have been a cool background. But then
you've been toying with the background even though you haven't been on camera.
It's honestly
it's still like the background, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the background corner, even though like it's just literally I had nowhere else to put these monstrosities
for sure,
like Lego towers. So
yeah, because fill us in a little bit. We can talk about that. You've been actively purchasing Legos now.
Yeah, I literally had to like be like, okay, you need to stop, because it was like every like 2 weeks for a while, for like 6 or 8 weeks there, and I was like, okay, you need to stop because you're gonna be poor. But yeah, no, I got the Daily Bugle, I got the Ghost, I got. What is the one I'm thinking?
It's called an addiction, everybody.
It is literally, and it's fully funded by them. They're by Jake and Molly and Jill, because
what did I do?
You guys were the first ones to buy me my first set ever.
The Infinity Gauntlet?
The Infinity Gauntlet, and then you followed it up. I finally made the A-frame cabin. And yeah, it was just a drug addiction of Legos ever since then. I'm trying to think, which one did I forget? Which one am I not thinking of? It's right next. Oh, the Sanctum Sanctorum. That one. And
funny enough, because we're talking.
Oh, I know, right? It's perfect. And Cap's Shield. You would love that one. That one actually came out.
I have the excuse in just a few years where my son will not be eating Legos, where I will be able to actually build them, and I have a cause for buying them.
Yeah.
So
100%.
I'm just waiting my time. That's all.
I know. Honestly, the most interesting thing is going to be which one is going to be the first.
The most expensive one.
No, but I mean, just in general, what is
The one that I always wanted as a kid was the Millennium Falcon. So it'll be the Millennium Falcon.
It retires this year.
Well, we might have to buy it for Christmas.
Yeah, I was gonna say you might want to like jump. I think it's. Oh wait, is it this year or next year?
Actually, you know what's funny is when I was building Legos as a kid, which I've talked about before, but I was an active Lego builder. Like I had dozens and dozens and dozens of sets. But it's funny that like Legos obviously now are so not overpriced, but they're just so much more expensive. The Falcon back then was like $70, and that was the highest
size.
Yeah, and that was the highest it was in price, like the biggest Lego set you can buy. Now they're hundreds and hundreds of dollars, which is crazy to think.
I know. I mean, the only one that has evaded my I was gonna say grasp, but I should say my debit card is Avengers Tower, because I'm just like, you don't have a job right now. You do not need to be spending upwards of $600 to $700 on the Avengers Tower. So, but in my defense, all the ones that I've bought so far are retiring this year. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like
make or break.
And I had to search high and low for the Sanctum, because it's just like been out, I think, for so long, because it's from Multiverse Madness. So it's been there for a while, so they're not actively making them anymore. But yeah, so that's my drug addiction of choice right now is Legos, because I didn't get rid of them, but I majorly stopped with Funkos. So
I stopped a long time ago.
I know. I just literally got to the point where I was like, there was nowhere to put these things anymore. So, yeah. But I know I know you and I both like have our fantasy footballs like off in the corner of.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I not only have fantasy football, but I have a bet going that I have 6 players in a bet that could win me $300. So, crossing my fingers that happens. We'll see. But all right, let's go ahead and get into everything. Before we get going, just quickly mention here, as you can see on the overlay, I'm drinking Lost Republic tonight. I brought it back from a few shows ago. I have not had it since the show. I was kind of craving like a really, really good bourbon, and that's where I landed tonight. I didn't have a chance to go buy one, so I'm drinking Lost Republic tonight. I'll talk about it a little bit more later on in a different video. Brian is not drinking whiskey because he does not drink whiskey. That is obvious. He has his water bottle. Looks like a new water bottle, by the way.
It is. I don't know what my other one just disappeared. Gone forever. Which is okay, because honestly, I don't even think it was keeping things cool anymore. So
yeah, I mean that happens over time. That happens.
And they made them skinnier now. The big
They're
ones.
Different. I have a new one too. They're different. Yeah, I upgrade mine every once in a while because it gets dented and stuff. So
yeah, because they fit in Cinemark's cup holders now. That's how I knew they got skinnier, because I was like, why is this going in? And I was like, oh, perfect.
All right, let's go and get into our first topic. As you can see there on the rundown, we're going to be talking about Spider-Man 4 and the news that Destin Daniel Cretton, who directed Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, someone inside the Marvel family, has signed on to direct Spider-Man 4. The first time in the Tom Holland era that a Spider-Man movie will be directed by anyone else other than John Watts. We're going to talk about this choice. We're going to talk about the direction of Spider-Man 4, because there's a lot of rumors happening right now. So yeah, look, we have someone inside the Marvel family coming in, directing a different project. This is really, really cool, because we've seen names circled other Marvel projects from properties they've done before, and they've never really like panned out or signed on to do that project. But I think this might be the first time, if I'm not mistaken, that someone is stepping into a second franchise and directing an MCU property, which is really, really cool. Brian, I don't know about you, but for myself, I love the choice. I enjoy them trying something different, because he is such a vastly different director from John Watts. But also, when you think about Shang-Chi specifically, the thing that stands out to me the most was that he was able to capture the incredible action of that movie so well, visually and just physically, like with the actors. Now you throw that into a Spider-Man movie. Now, of course, there's, he's swinging from buildings and he's doing all kinds of crazy things, but at the end of the day, he's also doing a lot of fighting. And that is really cool to see that bleed over from Shang-Chi into Spider-Man. I just think it's an awesome choice, and I'm excited that he's back. And also, I didn't mention this, but he was originally going to direct the Kang Dynasty. That he was on that project at one point. Then he stepped off because they were changing things. So he's been in the Marvel works for a little bit. He signs on to do Spider-Man. He's staying under the MCU banner, which I love. Thoughts?
A brilliant signing. One that I did not see coming ever. Like,
same.
I don't think he was on any. If you were predicting this, then you need to bet on the lottery, because he was not even a whisper in the wind on anyone's ears. So, like, to hear, and the fact that he's doing this before a sequel to Shang-Chi, like that, I mean, I think that was the thing that probably deterred everyone away from thinking like, oh, he should do a Spider-Man. But I mean, the choice is brilliant. There's zero complaints in my department. Shang-Chi is one of the best movies of the
honestly, I was thinking about it. It might be my favorite of the most recent phases. Like, I'm trying to think of like what else has come out.
The only I guess
Deadpool and Wolverine would be like the only thing that's considered.
Yeah.
But like, I like Shang-Chi better than Black Panther 2. I like it better than Multiverse of Madness. I like it better than Black Widow. What else?
No Way Home.
See, that's
yeah, I know that one's the hard one.
Like, I think I would like No Way Home more, but like, if I'm contending it with No Way Home, that speaks volume.
Oh, 100%. Like, and think about how early those were. Like, those
I think it was was it the second film to come out after Black Widow? No, it was after Doctor Strange, because Wong was in Shang-Chi. So it was the third or fourth film to come out. Yeah, I think it came out right before Black Panther.
It's before Black Panther, that's for sure.
So it was in between Doctor Strange and Black Panther. So it was the third film.
Don't forget Eternals was in there somewhere.
I thought Eternals was before the Infinity War stuff. Was it not?
No.
God, I'm telling
you. I know. It's like, what is time? Like,
ridiculous.
think about your life and how much it's changed.
Crazy, dude.
Since the beginning of Phase 4. Like, it's
crazy.
It's insane. You have TV shows, you have
it was a pandemic film, so it had to have been early 2020, I want to say, or middle 2020.
Let's see.
Brian's gonna look it up.
Shang-Chi was September 3rd, 2021.
So 21, okay, and Black Panther was November. Oh my God, we had 2 Marvel movies in a 3-month span. That's fucking crazy.
It's, again, it's funny when you see like 2021. Oh, that was only 3 years ago. But like,
watching football,
how 3 years ago is.
I'll put it on my phone.
So much more different than it is now.
Like, yeah, it's crazy and it feels like a decade ago that Shang-Chi came out, but it was only 3 years ago. Like, that's what's wild to me. Either way, like, what I wanted to say is that Big G mentioned it in the chat. This does lead, like, I'm very interested in what they're doing with Shang-Chi. It feels like they're going to wait until after either the Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars for a sequel. But I don't think that's a problem because I think there's a chance that Shang-Chi does show up somewhere else because they have to set everything up. Like they have to to me, like I don't know how it happens, but to me, I think Shang-Chi is going to be like a pivotal part of an Avengers team fighting whoever they are fighting in these movies.
I
Well, Doom
mean,
technically, but yeah.
I could see him definitely like leading some sort of team. Like, I mean,
Especially after that post-credit scene with
yeah.
Wong, Captain Marvel, Hulk, they were coming for Shang-Chi. Like that's
Well,
kind of a big deal.
he absolutely, in my opinion, has the potential if they want to do like a West Coast Avengers, like being that person. I mean, you've already got a handful of them over there.
Yeah.
Not to mention Wonder Man eventually is gonna come, and that's gonna be another one that's over there. I would not be surprised if Moon Knight finds his way over there. Because they're insane if they don't do a second season to that. There's just I mean technically you could even start Agents of Atlas with him if you really wanted to. It's just he's the way, like you said, the way they ended his movie alone was just like, hey, you are now in the big.
It very much felt like the new Iron Man post-credit scene. Like
Yeah.
you're now in a bigger world.
Yeah. And to be honest, like, has anyone really other than him had like hey, you're in this now?
Thinking of the new characters, no, because most of the new characters were introduced on television shows.
Yeah.
The only one that I can think of is Miss Marvel, but that's because they were setting her up in the Marvel.
Oh yeah,
her. Moon Knight hasn't really had one.
If anything, it's been more Young Avengers.
Yes, Kate Bishop, and then obviously Ant-Man's daughter. Quick note, which I completely forgot about. Destin Daniel Cretton also worked on Wonder Man.
Did he?
Yes, I forgot about this.
There you go.
That's kind of a big deal. And so he's very much involved, which I love seeing.
He's fantastic.
And this also leads me to think that they chose him and he's doing this movie because of, and the rumors that are about this movie right now. And again, this is all just rumors, speculation. We're taking this with a grain of salt, but this is all over online. But that Spider-Man 4 will be another multiverse story. And Brian, I don't know if you saw this today specifically, but
I saw
there were rumors today is that essentially is what happening is that it's kind of in a way going to be picking up from the events of Venom: The Last Dance, in that Null, who is the creator of all symbiotes, is going to be the villain, and that Spider-Man will be fighting him because Null learns of the multiverse and the power that comes with it. I think we both feel the same in this, is that we were really, really hoping for a grounded, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man film. Because after No Way Home, they set it up to where he's he's literally a mystery. No one knows who Peter Parker is.
No.
And you could do a story that would have him fight some old classic Spider-Man villain within the city of New York, excuse me. And then that intertwines with the story of him finding a way for people to remember him.
Cough, cough, Kingpin's right there.
Cough, cough, Daredevil as a team-up movie. People, what are we doing?
Yeah, when I heard the very first, like, it's going to be a multiversal film, I went, no.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, stop. Like, come on. Like, you literally set it up perfect to be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Like, it's literally like right there. Like, you, not to mention that Marvel's clearly going back in on the Defenders characters. Like, you have so many different options that you can use. You could even throw Punisher in there if you want. Like, I mean,
So sick. Or
it's
Deadpool.
yeah, like it's all right there. And it's like, no, we're gonna use a Thanos sized character for Spider-Man 4. And it's like, no, come on. Like,
Yeah.
to me, they're gonna have to immediately like break Doctor Strange's spell. Like,
Yeah, I kind of feel like
how?
it might be a this is going to be very similar to when they gave Thor his eye back, where it happened
I forgot.
literally in the next film, like almost immediately. Like that was the
Yeah,
goal,
it was
right?
literally
Like there was no
that's
point of them
yeah,
removing his eye when they
that's
gave him
so
his eye
that's a
back, just like
very good. Yep,
and
that's a very good example.
they're like in the first the first part of the film, they're going to find a way for everyone to going to remember Peter because there's going to be a larger threat, and that's going to be Null and Battle World and everything. Like I understand that they have to meet a quota because we're now in the multiverse saga, which I get. I understand that, and Spider-Man is so important. He's a pivotal part of all of this, but you are literally teed up for an old school classic friendly neighborhood Spider-Man story with Kingpin or his version of Sandman or any of these other characters that we have in the Spider-Man lore.
So you have Scorpion's been sitting there for
Yeah, and
like
they've never done Scorpion
no,
ever. Like, yeah, it's a little frustrating, and I
what?
feel like because it's the multiverse saga, they almost feel like they have to like every story has to be a multiverse story. Like I don't need that. I
You
don't
don't.
as long as the larger threat and the larger connections are multiverse, Doctor Strange going into dimensions or the Marvels breaking dimensions, like cool. Spider-Man is literally going to be a now college kid on Earth where no one knows he exists.
Yeah,
Why do you need to make him multiverse for his next movie?
he doesn't. They're literally. I mean, if anything, like, and I said it before. The second I saw Noel on the trailer, I went, that's an Avengers level threat.
Yeah, it's big.
Like,
Well, because he
you
deals with Eternals or not
yeah,
Eternals, Celestials. Excuse me.
yeah, it's literally he
That's how
is
he creates the symbiotes. Is
yeah,
Celestials.
he's literally out of darkness and so like he's huge and I mean it just is just so dumb.
Do
Like
we think Null's
even
going to team up with Doom?
who? What?
Do we think Null's going to team up with Doom?
Honestly, I think it's gonna end up being they're literally gonna contain him in just Spider-Man 4. I don't think he's gonna end up doing anything outside of Spider-Man 4. I don't think it's gonna actually connect to anything. I just think they're literally like, let's end Venom and throw the biggest, baddest person we can
Yeah.
at it because it makes no sense to me. My dream Spider-Man 4, I know you didn't play it, but the first Spider-Man game where they basically kind of like put Mr. Negative up as he when I tell you he would have been perfect for Spider-Man 4. You can make him ground level because it's literally someone that Aunt May used to trust and then turns on Peter and like it's right there. And in fact, I remember playing that game when it came out and putting out a tweet like Steven Yeun would have been perfect for Mr. Negative. Literally, man dropped out of being Sentry, throw him into this spot, and him opposite of Tom Holland, absolutely, absolutely, and he is strong.
Yeah.
He is not no weak like little like pushover character. But no, we're gonna go with Null, who is an Avengers level threat,
Yeah.
and
He's almost like as capable of Christian Bale's character in Love and Thunder when they dumped him down.
Well,
What's his name?
they're connected.
Yeah, because of the sword.
The
What's his name?
necro sword.
What's the character's name? Do you
Gore,
remember?
the God Butcher.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah.
I mean, they nerfed Gore. Like,
Yeah.
You could have, God, if they would have planned this out.
Yeah. Okay, Brian. Anyway. So I want to bring up this comment because this is important. Because this
the one where Rachel says, "I'm finally on Whiskey Jedi."
Hi, Rachel. Ha ha ha.
Hi, Rachel.
Time, actually. But hi, Rachel. Good to see you. This is important because this could actually very well be true. Andy said this feels like what Sony wants, not what Kevin is going 100%. To do. So we do have to keep in mind that Spider-Man right now is the only property where Marvel does not have full control. Now, we don't know exactly what the detail says, but we have always been told that Sony deals with distribution and Marvel deals with creative. Now, when you try to put this on a board and you're thinking, okay, well, how does this connect everything? It's a clear direct line to a Sony film called Venom: The Last Dance. That is not what the MCU is all about. So that gives me a little bit of hope that we won't be seeing this, that this is rumors from what, like Andy said, what Sony wants, but what Kevin Feige, Destin Daniel Cretton, and the MCU is going to do, setting up everything going forward. It could be a mix. It could be exactly this. It could be the complete opposite. But we do have to remember that with Spider-Man, it's very wishy-washy because there's two studios controlling him, essentially, each side of, the tether of this puppet string going back and forth.
I'm not even 100% convinced that this, I mean, who came out and said, yeah, Noel is the, like, I don't even, it's no one reputable that has said it.
I took a screenshot of it because I was going to do a TikTok video on it. It was it was some weird Twitter account, but they had a verification, which I know you can pay for them, but
yeah, I mean, so I'm taking this heavily with a grain of salt. There's two things that make me worried that this could be true with Sony is, number one, I would not be surprised if the original plan was Noel to be their Thanos and all these other spin-off people that Madam Web was going to be something that connects into this. So that would not surprise me in the slightest. The only other thing that makes me think that this could possibly be true, and it makes perfect sense, is at the end of Venom 2, the little glob of symbiote is in the MCU.
No, wasn't that the end of No Way Home?
Was it No Way Home?
I think that was the end of No Way Home. Where we saw I Love Football?
Yeah, it's at the bar.
Danny Rojas? Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was at the end of No Way Home.
Okay, whatever. What is time? Which would make sense because I never bought. There is no way that Sony and Marvel were like, okay, we'll finally agree to let Tom Hardy be in the MCU, but then like he was in it for like it was a joke. Yeah, people were making fun of it. Yeah. Like,
well, because he ended up going back to his world.
Yeah, it was a joke. They set it up at the end, and then it was like, oh my God, he's in the MCU. And then all of a sudden it was like, gotcha.
Yeah.
So like, that's the only thing that I could think of, like, that maybe draws Noel, because it's there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
That deals with multiverse stuff. And I mean,
exactly is, it's literally a different universe and they're all connected. The symbiotes are all connected. That's a hive mentality. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Give me Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I would be so happy. But when you start thinking about that part,
Agreed. It's a little terrifying to think that that's the direction they could be going, and that this could be the first time that Sony pulls a fast one on Marvel because it's their character, and that Kevin Feige and company may not have any say over it. It's
this
just
could have been the original deal.
it's a little nerve wracking, but we'll keep an eye on it. Hopefully, this is not the case. For now, we do have to move on. I'm sure Spider-Man will come back up. The film is going to start filming next summer. So I'm sure we'll learn a lot more about it before then. But let's go ahead and move on to our next topic of the evening. This one will more than likely be a quick one, but Happy Gilmore,
look at how young he looks,
is officially coming out. It is officially started filming. This film will debut on Netflix. It is now a Netflix original film because Adam Sandler does nothing but Netflix movies, is what it feels like these days.
Lots of money.
Yeah, seriously, a ton of money for his deal with Netflix. But yeah, look, not a lot to talk about with it other than the fact that I do not give a flying F this movie's coming out.
Yeah.
And that is with saying that I love the original movie so much. I grew up on the original movie. We watched it frequently in this household. It's not that I don't want to see a Happy Gilmore sequel. It's that I do not trust and believe in Adam Sandler movies anymore. His track record over the last decade or so is not very good.
What's the one with Jennifer Aniston?
Murder Mystery.
Yeah, those ones are like the only ones that people have been like, okay, they weren't that bad.
Yeah, but like,
and
his comedy, just his comedy over the last however long has not been like fantastic.
It just hasn't changed with the times.
Like, okay, let's run through a couple here. We have the Murder Mystery movies, which were on Netflix. You have Pixels in 2015. You have That's My Boy in 2012. Obviously, he did Uncut Gems, but that was a way different style of movie than these other movies.
Yeah, no.
You have the Grown Ups movies, which are probably the best of the bunch over the last decade or so. You have Hubie Halloween. You have The Ridiculous Six, which he was in. I mean,
Hotel Transylvania.
The Hotel Transylvania. I mean, it's just like the track record has not been like great over the last decade. The Do-Over was that kind of dumb action movie. I mean,
I don't even remember what that is.
It's not the Waterboys and the Happy Gilmores and the Billy Madisons of the world that he was so famous for back then. I feel like it's going to ruin this movie. Like, I don't think anyone will ever be able to recreate. And I have the same issue with Will Ferrell of his early days. They're very similar, right? The Anchormans, Talladega Nights, like all those movies he did. Same thing with Adam Sandler, Billy Madison, Mr. Deeds, Waterboy, Happy Gilmore, like banger after banger after banger. And then you go to now, and it's just like he's obviously actors evolve and stuff, but it's not gonna go well. And I really hope it does. Like, I am like, please God, God, don't ruin this. But it doesn't. I don't have any excitement for it right now.
It's concerning to me when you put out your cast and Travis Kelce is one of your main leads. That makes me listen. I've never seen him act, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he's not a freaking. Yeah, I'm trying to be nice. But to be completely honest, if you're gonna put a Kelce in Happy Gilmore 2, I'd rather have Jason.
I'd rather see Jason. Yeah.
It would be, he could literally be just that like annoying guy. Like I'm just, but yeah, no, it's. I mean, not to mention like Bad Bunny is one of the main.
Yeah, leads. and they did get Julie Bowen and Christopher McDonald back, so we got Shooter McGavin, but like, Like I've seen better things from Julie Bowen over the last decade than I have Adam Sandler.
Oh, 100%. I mean,
Christopher McDonald really hasn't been doing anything. I've barely seen him in anything. He did do a Happy Gilmore commercial for like the PGA Tour or something, but that was it.
Yeah. I mean, let's see. His most recent credit on IMDb is Young Jedi Adventures.
As a voice.
Grandpa Roog. But and then he was in, I guess, Beverly Hills Cop. But
I don't even remember him in that because I watched that.
Oh, Andy was in Secret Invasion. But who remembers Secret Invasion? Yeah, I don't. This is one of those things where I'm like, do you really need to? Like, can you not just let the original live on its own?
I mean, let's be honest, it's going to make Netflix a shit ton of money. Like
of
it
course.
is.
It's going to be one of those things that even if it's not good, people are going to watch just to watch and say they've seen it because of the first one.
Yep.
Other than that, like, I mean, what can you do? Like, is it going to be his son or daughter? Like, I just doesn't, his 90s, early 2000s comedies don't, like, the comedy doesn't translate to now like that. That's like, to me, like trying to make a Little Nicky sequel. Like that would never, the comedy in that would never.
Or Billy Madison sequel.
Yeah, like
it's Waterboy sequel.
Exactly. Like there's no way you could do a Waterboy sequel nowadays. There's no way. Like, so like to me, this is almost kind of like, it's not the same, but it's kind of up there where it's like, I don't know.
No, you definitely cannot recreate what you did with the first Happy Gilmore.
No,
you can't. Like there's no possible way to do what you did back then now. It's not possible with the climate that we're in.
So I would love, again, another situation where I'd love to be wrong and it be just like, oh my God, they pulled this off. But I think the chance of that happening is not as great as the chance of it happening. So,
all right, moving on from Happy Gilmore. We're hoping for the best, but the optimism here is not very high. But we'll see. We shall see. Next topic should be interesting. Should be a lot more excited about this one. Let's go ahead and preview The Penguin. Don't have to take super long about this one. It does come out in a week. It'll debut its first episode next Thursday. So a week from today, we will be seeing Colin Farrell return as Oswald Cobblepot in his own Penguin series dubbed kind of Batman 1.5. And the reason why we're talking about this today, not just talking about a preview, but specifically, there were some very interesting choice words recorded from Variety on Colin Farrell and his response to the ending of filming for the Penguin, the suit, the headpiece, etc. Essentially, is what he said is that when he was done, he was done. He did not want to be involved anymore. And that the showrunner basically had to say, if I come up with a great idea for season 2, would you come back? And he said, yes, of course I would. But right now, I don't want any part of it. And it kind of caught my eye. I brought it to Brian's attention for tonight's show. And it's interesting, because the show has not come out yet. We don't have a first episode. It's all happening before the show actually airs. And not to say that this show is going to run for like 4 or 5 seasons, because it won't ever run for that long. But to me, I kind of take it as a clear distinction that Colin Farrell maybe doesn't want to play this character forever, because it might be too physically exhausting with the suit and the time that it takes, even though that so far it seems like the product has been really, really good. And that early reactions today actually say that it's really, really good. It seems like the setup for it all is a little bit frustrating for him. even though the end product is actually pretty decent. So, Brian, what was your reaction to all of this?
Well, I mean, I've been looking forward to this for a while. Like, I mean, it's
He was
basically,
your favorite part of the Batman, right?
yeah, he was freaking fantastic. Like, he stole scenes, like, at times. Like,
That chase scene with him was incredible.
yeah, I
So
mean, I mean, there's a reason he's getting his own little show. Like, he was fantastic. Um, I, like, I don't think he meant it as anything towards the franchise or like anything like that, but like, you don't want to say anything negative before something even starts. Like,
it's
let
just very interesting timing.
yeah, like let get an episode in, and then you can say it. Just because it's like, look at how much work I did. Like, this was a pain in that. Like, I'm sure he was sitting in a makeup chair for 3-4 hours a day.
Yeah, because so for people who don't know, he has to put on essentially a mask because they physically change him, but he also wears a bodysuit.
Yeah.
So just imagine doing that before you film every day.
And you got to take it off, which is taking just as long too. So it's like, I get the what he was trying to say, but like, he said it very weirdly in the sense of like, he should have been like, it's exhausting putting on and taking this off. I can't wait to just have a break from it for a while. But it was just very
And he's not
like,
going to get a long break because he's going to be in the Batman too.
yeah. And so it's just like, just I feel like the way he said it was more like wrong, if you will. Like, it just didn't.
Like the wrong voice, essentially.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, it's like, you get what he's saying, but at the same time you're going, well, kind of like, why did you say it like that? Like,
Mhm.
it just didn't. Because even before you reached out to me to do this, I had read it and I was like, did he not
Yeah,
like
it's
it?
odd. It's
Like,
odd.
I was like,
He doesn't sound. He doesn't sound excited about it.
no, it
And
was just like that. It sounded like to him, like, that was the like thing that he took from it the most, just because he was just so exhausted from it. I
yeah,
have no doubt that he's probably like, this has been fantastic. It looks great and blah blah blah. But it was just weird. Like, I don't know. It just was odd.
I
Very
agree. I
odd.
mean, the timing is definitely weird. Like I said, it comes out next Thursday,
Yeah, a week
and
before.
it doesn't drop all at once. This is going to be an 8 episode show. So for the next 8 weeks, we're going to be watching him as the Penguin, which is great. And Matt Reeves obviously set him up to become essentially the crime boss of Gotham.
Mhm.
And we're going to be seeing his reign begin in this show. He's obviously going to have hurdles along the way, but I have no doubt he's going to be in the Batman 2. Matt Reeves has been frequently talking about the Batman 2, how he's working on the script, how
And
it's
he's been
coming together
chatting.
nicely. And he said, or there was some information today that said that they're viewing this as a 3-movie arc. So at this moment in time, we're seeing this as Batman 1, 2, and 3. I have a feeling that Penguin will be in all 3 of them. It only makes sense.
Yeah.
So I would say two seasons of the Penguin show in all 3 Batman
Oh, you
movies.
think this will have another season?
I do think it'll have another season.
See, now I'm think I might be opposite with you, where I think that they do just this one, and then probably someone from another character will be the one
which
in
I
the
wouldn't
middle.
hate, but I feel like because of the DCU, they might not do that. And
That's fair.
they might stick with the same character, especially if this is a hit. Like if this is a monster show and it is actually that good. And the thing that I've been seeing the most about it is that it elevates Oswald Cobblepot as to like a top tier live action villain. Like that's a big deal to say,
Absolutely.
especially when it comes to DC characters. Like that's a big deal to say. if it's in fact that good, I don't see why WB wouldn't pull the trigger on doing at least a second season, especially if he's already going to be in Batman 2 and then possibly Batman 3.
I mean, it regardless of Batman, it's like one of those like mobster crime shows.
Yeah,
So
you shouldn't even be viewing this as like a superhero show. It's
no,
just it's an HBO show that stars characters from DC.
yeah,
And in that point, we've already been told that Batman's not going to be in this. So
no.
it really is a dirty, grungy, street level show that is all about crime.
Do you hear what Matt Reeves said today about that? It takes place a week after and it's setting up Gotham's winter,
Yep.
which to me that was a huge clue. But
Oh, dude, Mr. Freeze is 100% going to be
yeah,
there.
like
And we've been saying that for I don't know how long.
yeah,
But like it makes so much sense for Freeze to be the villain, and given like, not to say that Schwarzenegger wasn't like great or anything, but like to give Freeze like actual real justice
yeah,
and make him not as goofy. Like Freeze in a Batman world is super cool because Matt Reeves has doubled down on the fact that like this world isn't about mysticism
powers,
and
yeah.
magical and stuff. Like it's real life Dark Knight style. And to see Freeze in that type of world would be awesome.
And you can do they're smart enough. You could do a way where he doesn't need a freeze gun and stuff like that. It could literally just be the elements of winter, and it's just they nickname him like Mr. Freeze. Like you can do those types of things, and I mean, I think this show is going to subtly set that tone, but yeah, I'm excited for it. I think
I'm very much looking forward to it. I really have kind of been craving like a super serious real life like drama type show.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it's brutal too at times.
Well, I mean, it is all about a villain.
Yeah.
And it's great timing because we have things like, we have all this craziness going on with like the Lord of the Rings is currently on. We had The Boys, we had the House of the Dragon, we have Last of Us coming, and finally we have something that's kind of like real life.
Yeah.
It's really good timing, and it comes out the same week as Agatha, complete opposites. I think it's going to be awesome.
They really are complete opposites.
They're complete opposites. So I think it's really good timing, and I definitely believe that this show is going to be really, really good.
Me too. I'm excited.
All right. Speaking of Agatha, let's just move on. Let's get right
into
that
segue. Stuff. Look at that. Not a professional here.
Speaking of comments, Variety was all over the place this week. They're incredible at what they do. And they had comments from Elizabeth Olsen. And she had some very interesting choice words regarding her role as Scarlet Witch and where she is with the MCU and appearing. I'm going to read this just real quick. She said, "It's a character that I love going back to when there's a way to use her well. And I think I have been lucky that when I started, I was used well. I think people didn't know what to do with me for a second there. If there's a good way to use her, I'm always happy to come back." So I did a video about this on TikTok today. I put my thoughts out there. And just a quick rundown. Brian, I believe that when she's talking about this, she's specifically referring to Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, 100%.
Because to me, everything before that, which
up until WandaVision.
So everything from her appearance in Age of Ultron to WandaVision, which was right before Multiverse of Madness, was perfectly bow tied. Like it all made sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then you quickly turn her around out of like, and yes, they were setting it up, but they quickly cut corners and went from instead of going from, like A, B, C, D, they went from A to Z and turned her into a villain within a heartbeat in Multiverse of Madness with no real buildup.
Off of a like redemption arc at the end of WandaVision.
Yeah, WandaVision where she kind of came like, yes, it just, yes.
Did you see I forget where it came from it was during the VMAs, like someone put out something of like, oh, it was the dude that got fired from X-Men. He said he put out a thing saying, this is what Multiverse of Madness was supposed to be. And I read through it, and it was like, oh, holy shit.
Oh, see, I haven't read through that.
Oh, yeah. Read
Send
it.
that to me if you want to. Send that to me.
Yeah.
I'll read
It's
it.
just, you read it and you go, oh, shit, this makes sense.
Yeah, they were so, and this is one of Marvel's big faults from the last few phases is that they had just gotten their hands on X-Men,
Yeah.
right? And I think they got a little bit too just, overzealous a little bit. And they're like, oh my God, House of M, Avengers vs. X-Men, like all of these things. And they go, make her the villain.
Yeah.
And that's not what should have happened. She should have been the co-star of Multiverse of Madness, where she eventually dived into being a villain instead of being the villain.
Which is what he put out.
And so I am 100% on Elizabeth Olsen's side. I think she is spot on with the fact that they had no idea how to use her in Multiverse of Madness, or they just didn't use her the right way. I have no doubt she'll be back. I know that it's up in the air. She quote unquote died at the end of Multiverse of Madness, which, hey, I get it. That's fine. But Agatha comes out next week. We know her connection to that character. Vision Quest comes out very soon. We've heard she could be appearing. Like, there's obviously ways to use her. And you're going to tell me right now that you're not going to have Scarlet Witch up against Doom in the multiverse for Doomsday and Secret Wars? Like, sorry, no, not happening. Plus, the X-Men's coming.
Yeah, I sent it to you if you want to look at it. She is one of those characters, especially from how she's used in the comics, that she can come in and out of things. Where
Out
it's
of
like,
all the characters right now, she's the one that can go anywhere. Literally anywhere.
Exactly. Like, I mean, she literally has moments where it's like she saves the day in the comics and then disappears for a little bit and then comes back as a full-blown villain and just is killing people left and right. And then all of a sudden, like, something happened and she realizes what she did and then she disappears for years. And then all of a sudden, here she comes back again. So, like, she makes sense as a character that can do that.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, it's you can't really, in my opinion, get away with doing that with someone like an Iron Man or a Captain America. But because she's like just been this tortured, confused, all over the place character since we met her in damn near almost the beginning of the MCU.
Not damn near. Like, damn. Like,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, like, it would make sense for her to just kind of like pop in and out of things where it's just like, oh, there she is. Oh, she did something bad, or oh, she needs to go away for a little bit. Like, I mean, you can almost even kind of get away with that with Doctor Strange too, but like her especially, I think it's fine if she's not around for 3-4 years and then comes back right into the fold of things and is a main character. Like, it would make sense. Um so honestly, I think for right now I'm kind of glad that she's on pause, like,
Well, yeah, a
because
break for everybody is always good,
yeah,
especially like a character of this magnitude, for sure.
yeah, because I mean, you got to really think WandaVision was the first thing on Disney Plus during COVID era where we were in lockdown, and that thing blew up because it was the only thing that, like, media wise we were getting that was
It's
new.
still
Eh,
considered the best out of all of them too.
oh yeah, I mean, it was, everyone was talking about it. Even people that didn't really like do the MCU were watching it just because we were getting nothing at the time. And I think that once that blew up, it was just like, we got to figure out a way to use her in everything because this is just exploding. And I think, and then that's also, Marvel was trying to push out as much as possible. And I think she was just kind of what's the term? She was just kind of the mark that got thrown into this hodgepodge and just they dropped the ball on her. I mean, they went from Scott Derrickson to all of a
Yeah,
sudden
I
he's
mean,
just gone,
yeah,
and
that
then
was a big
Sam
deal.
Raimi comes in, and
Yeah.
he hasn't watched a single thing, and yet he's gonna. And I'm not pooping on him, but it's just it. The whole thing was just very weird, and like I'm very glad she's like dead right now because again in the comics she does this all the time. Oh, the Scarlet Witch is dead. Oh, look, she's back. Like this type of stuff happens. So like they needed to pause her.
Not only that, but let's not forget that she was for 4 out of 5 years, she was in an Infinity War in 18, Endgame in 19, WandaVision in 2021, and Doctor Strange in 2022.
Did you
And
say
those were all
Endgame too?
very significant roles. So
Yeah,
she was not only like being used, she was being overused. And she's talked about it previously how she's okay with a breather because it allows her to do other things.
yeah,
And she was, getting sewn up in this super tight Scarlet Witch outfit
yeah.
for years and the hair and like,
Floating, getting thrown
yeah,
around.
like I think a break not only does the character like it's good for the character, but it also does it does what good for us as well as viewers because we don't have to frequently see her as much and get tired of her.
Mhm.
In my eyes, Scarlet Witch can be used for the next 10 years with Elizabeth Olsen,
Yeah,
uh, whether it be the Doomsday stuff with Doom and the X-Men stuff eventually because of how important that is and how big she is with those characters. So if you're going to use her every few years, please do because I would love to see this character for as long as I could possibly get her.
if you don't
She's
mind.
back there for a reason.
Yeah, she's. I mean, when you think about it, out of the original 6, she's number 7.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Agreed.
I mean, you can I guess tie her with Vision, but like,
She's before Vision in my eyes.
yeah, so to me too, but like that's how long she's been around. Like, if we have our original 6, she's number 7.
2014. 2014.
Yeah,
Over 10 years we've seen her.
no one has been around of mainstay. I don't want to hear like, oh, Happy Hogan's been around, but of a superhero person. I mean, the only person that's still around is what? Thor, Hawkeye, and Hulk, and then it's her.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's half of the original 6. So I mean, she's due for a break. Look where she
Yeah.
started from to where she is now, and I to pull it from your Andy's right there. Save her ass and use it for
So sick.
the supernatural
He's so
side
sick.
of the MCU. They are absolutely building their way to that. To the
We're
weird.
already over half the characters.
Yeah, like
Doctor Strange, Moon Knight, the Punisher, Werewolf by Night. What's the big monster?
Man Thing.
Man Thing. Ghost Rider is going to be appearing at some point. We have, I mean, look,
You
Moon Knight
have
Sun is coming, Andy.
Nightmare coming in Ironheart with Sacha
right.
Baron Cohen. Like lean heavily into that supernatural. Look at Agatha. Agatha is about to be heavy on the supernatural.
Do you think she's an Agatha?
No.
I don't think so either.
I think she'll be mentioned
Yeah,
a lot.
be mentioned for sure.
I mean, we've seen the name right on the thing.
Yeah, the body that looks like her. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it will be heavily like, hey, look at.
I think they have to because she's the Scarlet Witch, right? And there's only one of them. It has to be.
Yeah, I mean, she's the only one that's using red chaos magic. So I mean, like it's obvious she'll have to. I mean, look at Joe Locke. Like if he's gonna be Billy and connect, like obviously there's things that are gonna be connected to. I would be honestly kind of almost disappointed if they use her. Like just let this be its.
What about like a post-credit scene?
Honestly, I don't want her to show up, but I'm fine if you heavily like if you use that as like a, yep, she's alive.
Yeah, like if we just like saw her somewhere,
Yeah,
right?
like,
It's like walking around or something.
or like even if Agatha's like, I feel her or something, like, great. That's all I need.
Okay.
Like, cool, she's alive.
I agree. I mean, I
Who
agree.
knows when she's gonna show up, but she's alive.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I need. I don't need.
She has to be because the X-Men are coming.
Yeah.
We've already been told that as soon as the multiverse saga is over, it's the mutant saga, and we know her connection with the mutants. If you don't know, she's Magneto's daughter
Yeah.
technically.
Spoiler alert.
And spoiler alert, I don't know if they're gonna do that in this. I
I
don't
don't
know if
think
they
you can.
can. Like, I don't know. Well, let's say this actually. Our version of Wanda is not Magneto's daughter. But Magneto that we meet may
Yeah.
have a daughter named Wanda because
Yeah, you could easily. I mean,
because the X-Men are not coming from our world. They're coming from a different
no.
world. So, more
I
than
mean,
likely that Magneto has a Scarlet Witch daughter that maybe didn't
what if
survive or something.
what if it was the one that she killed in Multiverse?
If that's the universe, yeah.
That would be nuts. And then like
Well,
they're
I think it might have been confirmed that the universe from the Marvels is the same universe from Multiverse of Madness, which then would be the same Wanda.
I mean, it may. I
Because
mean,
yeah, because
I don't remember.
because Monica is currently in the universe with Beast,
Oh yeah, that's right. I keep
right?
forgetting about that.
And I think it was confirmed that that universe was the same one as the universe with the Illuminati, which then would mean that's the universe the X-Men are coming from.
Yeah. Well, because we know Deadpool's not in theirs.
Deadpool is not in the X-Men universe, or
Yeah.
well, they're not in that X-Men's
Yeah.
universe. Yeah, the
Our
main X-Men
Deadpool
universe.
is not that one.
Unless that universe is also the same universe as the Marvels, which is the same universe as Doctor Strange. That's possible.
I
Right?
mean, it has
was
to
that
be.
universe given a name? What was that? What was that universe's name?
Uh,
It was given a number, right?
yeah, I think it was 8 something.
Oh, I think you're right.
Because we're 616. 8 is it 823? 832?
Let's look.
I got thrown off when I saw Deadpool's was like 10,000. Like I was
10,001 or something.
yeah, I
It was
was
like
like,
10001 or something.
I was like, okay, here we go. But I mean,
838.
See, I knew it was an 8, and I knew there was a 3 in there.
Thank you.
Uh,
Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, the same one from the post-credit scenes of the Marvels, I think that's 838. Which then means if all of our theories and speculations are correct, is that when all the worlds collide, Fantastic Four are on one universe world, X-Men are on one world, and then we have 616, and the three of them are going to combine into 616. And their two universes will be dead.
yeah, I mean, you got to think. So we have MCU's universe. We have that one, the 838.
Mm-hmm.
We have Deadpool's 10,000 whatever one it is. We have there's one other one. Oh, wherever
Fantastic
Fantastic Four is.
So, but I think we've already talked about it. Fantastic Four universe is dead. Like, dead before it even started.
Galactus is eating the shit out of
that universe is so gone.
Yeah, that's
so gone.
Yeah, that's literally like they're not gonna win. So I have a feeling it's gonna be Infinity War where they're gonna lose and they're gonna try to get out of their universe.
Sure. I don't think they're gonna I think Galactus is definitely gonna win that battle.
Yeah.
So then that would only leave
get us started on Fantastic Four.
So that would leave.
So I mean, there's 4 right there.
Yeah, but like Deadpool's, I mean,
Deadpool's is, I mean, outside of his little like group of friends, like.
But do they all survive?
I mean,
Because they're not all. Let's be honest. They're not all going to have parts going forward in the MCU. The only characters that matter are Deadpool and Wolverine. Well, and now X-23.
The only thing I could think of is that he's jumping out of. I mean, he's fully aware of everything that's
and
going.
also, actually, we forgot about a universe, Brian. Gambit's universe. That's official. That's a thing.
Yeah.
That's a thing, and he could very well be going back to 838. We don't know, but they released that clip on purpose. He was jumping into a sling ring.
Yeah,
he was going back to his world.
eyes.
So like we're getting far ahead of ourselves. There's really like a dozen universes that matter. Like there are.
Yeah. Either way, she's not dead, and she's showing up.
Yes,
somewhere, and
because of her connection to the X-Men, like she has to be around when the X-Men are here. She has to.
Oh yeah,
because we're 100% getting Avengers versus X-Men. Like it has to happen.
Oh yeah, and I mean, like honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if she is some mild catalyst in.
I think she will be the catalyst.
I mean,
she's really the only one.
The only thing that I hesitate is just like. But again, her character does that in the comics where it's like she does something and then she's good. And then she does something and then she's bad. And then she does something and then she's good again. Because I was thinking to myself, but then we've got it's going to be like another thing with multiverse where it's like she just does something and then
it's dark. But you can't really do that in movies. That's the thing. Like you have to be able to interpret it for the movie audience.
Yeah.
So I feel like now that Multiverse of Madness has ended, she at the very end kind of realized before she perished, she'll be on the redemption arc, but it'll take a very long time for her to get back to where she was of, being a universe saver, etc.
Yeah.
But then X-Men's going to happen. And like, and not only is X-Men going to happen, but then she's going to find out that her fucking son is out there with Agatha.
Okay, so that's going to be the craziest thing is trying to figure that whole like because
the last time we saw him, they were in the Darkhold. Like
and he's not going to come out the same kid. I don't obviously want to say how all this is going to but
we'll do another show where we can talk about it.
Yeah, but I mean there's a reason he looks different than when he was a little kid. But so like she's gonna have to figure out that like that's him.
Yeah.
So there's just no way that they're not gonna use her again. Like she's arguably one of the most, if not powerful beings that we are familiar with right now.
I think her and Captain Marvel are the two.
And I would say, well,
Thor obviously you
always. I was going to say Doctor Strange, but technically Wong is Sorcerer Supreme right now.
I think Wanda's stronger than Doctor Strange.
Did you see? Okay, did you see what I sent you?
No, I'm going to read it after the show.
Okay, well, because do you care if I say what it says? One part of it.
Sure,
so in that, it says that she's supposed to kill Wong.
That makes sense. We all expected that to happen.
Yeah, exactly. How long have we been? Was I before the movie going?
we thought Wong was going to die for like 3 movies already.
Yeah, she it literally ended with her like decapitating him, and so like, I mean, at some point, unfortunately, hate to break it to you guys, Wong's going to die because
bad,
and he's going to be Sorcerer Supreme. So, and it's not like Wong's going to be like, all right, I'm out. Peace, guys. Like, no, he's gonna die. So it's like,
oh, Brian, we're wrong. They're not the strongest characters in the universe. Gaia is from Secret Invasion.
Honestly, I've never, and I know this is a whole nother thing. Like, I know how people have in the toxic Star Wars fandom are like the sequel series, like they're not canon and blah blah blah. Honestly, like,
can we not make them canon, please?
Can we just skip Secret Invasion?
Yeah.
Just like, let's hit it with the redo. Please. Like, can we not? Yeah,
what an honestly, absolute train wreck of a show.
I honestly forget sometimes that even this happened. Like
Yep.
I have scrubbed that to the point where like I forget that we had Secret Invasion.
It's so unfortunate because it had so many great pieces and it just did not pan
It just like
out.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Look, there's obviously a very big conversation regarding Scarlet Witch, the entire MCU in general, but this stuff always comes up. What a great time to talk about Scarlet Witch with Agatha just around the corner.
Are you excited for that? You and I
I
haven't
am.
talked about it.
I am, but I'm not like overly excited.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna watch every week, and I hope it blows my expectations.
Yeah.
I don't know if it will because I am curious on how it connects. Like what is, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but what is its importance to everything else going on? Or is it just a single story focused on Agatha? Which, if that's the case, I'm okay if it's a spotlight like Echo was. But if it's not a spotlight, then I need to understand its importance to everything else going on. So
To me, my thing is like at the very least, they're finding a way to do something to bring Wiccan to.
I think that's the end game for it,
Like,
but we'll
yeah,
see. We'll see.
I'm excited for it.
No, I know it's your jam. I know it's your absolute jam. So
I don't. And by the way, I'm not going into this thinking that this is going to be the greatest Marvel TV. I don't think any of. I don't think you think that. No one I've talked to has been like, "This is going to be the greatest of all the Marvel TV shows." Like, so I'm excited for it though.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll have you back on for a review of it after a couple episodes or maybe after the season. But let's go ahead and move on to our final part of the evening. We're going to jump into our recommendation. And my weekly recommendation this week is awesome. It is such an underrated movie. I love this movie so much, and it's now available right now to watch on Prime Video. And that is Dread 3. Well, originally titled Dread 3D, which is why I said that. But the 2013 version of Dread with Carl Urban. One of the coolest.
And Cersei.
And Leah Dunna. No, that's the different. Oh my god, why am I forgetting her name?
Cersei.
No, I know it's Cersei, but what's her damn name?
I've actually seen this movie because Jake has made me watch this movie.
Lena Headey, Lena Headey. Yeah, no, look, I love this movie so much. If you've seen movies like The Raid,
yeah,
this is very similar. They're literally just fighting their way up a high rise the entire film. It is so fucking awesome.
It's Die Hard.
Go watch it. It's awesome. I wish we got more movies of Carl Urban under the mask. He never took his mask off, and not very many actors would do that for a role. We only ever saw his mouth, which was incredible. Now available on streaming. So if you have not checked out Dread 2013, go watch it. It is so worth the watch. Brian, do you have a recommendation this week?
I mean, I have been binging 911 on Hulu, and the new season starts in like 2 weeks. There's like 7 seasons of it. It's what are they? A cable sitcom?
Yeah, it's a network television show.
Yeah, it's like a Grey's Anatomy type thing where it can run for 100,000 years and it just keeps going and going. And it doesn't take itself as serious as those ones. So if you have need to watch 7 seasons worth of a show that has like, I think like 18 episodes a season, yeah, go for it. Also, Outer Banks. You recommended Outer Banks, and that was really good too.
Hell yeah, man! OBX4 comes out next month. Let's go.
Oh yeah, that's right. Next month, huh?
Hope for life.
I think I'm like right at season. Did I start season 3? I think I started season 3.
Season 3 is wild.
Okay, yeah, it's really good. So that's another one.
Oh man, I want to rewatch this show now. I just don't have time, but I Poke for life. Poke for life. All right. Well, before we get out of here,
wait, you're not a kook?
Fuck kooks. Fuck them kooks.
I love those names though. Whoever thought of Pogues and
it's
kooks
so great. It's like, so great. It's such a guilty pleasure show because they don't ever take themselves serious, which I just love. So,
Andy, that is on my list.
Have you seen that's on my list too. The English teacher. Yeah. I've heard it's really good. I've heard it's really, really, really good.
Yeah.
I'll come back next week with my thoughts on the Rings of Power. I'm going to go watch episode 5 right now. Andy, you were right about episode 4.
Is it a weekly drop? Sorry,
They did the first 3, and then they're doing episode by episode.
Got it. Okay.
So now you can watch 5 and just be caught up on a weekly drop. So far it is 1,000 times better than season 1.
People I've been seeing, I mean, I'm not following it, I'm not watching it, but it seems like people were enjoying it.
It's much better than season 1 so far. So
that's cool.
All right, Brian, before we get out of here, I know neither of us really do social media that much anymore, but if anybody wants to follow you, whether it be anything social media, why don't you go ahead and plug what you got for the people?
I think everything for me is B of Olsen.
Haven't done that in 4 months. Does it feel weird?
Yes, because I honestly, you and I have probably taken the biggest step back. I barely check things now.
Same.
Like it's just it's too much now.
Yeah.
But
I've not checked it so much that I've even considered not even posting my YouTube link to it anymore. Specifically X is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I mean, I'm barely, I've even taken a step back from just being on TikTok because it's just like, there's just so much. But sure, if you want to go there, then by all means.
Yeah. At Qui-Gon Jake for myself, Instagram, Twitter, or X, TikTok specifically. I've mentioned it. I don't know how many times.
Yeah, you're crushing it on TikTok.
Thank you. I'm trying. I've had a lot of fun doing it. So
yeah.
But I post all my stuff on Instagram now too. The only unfortunate thing is that stupid Instagram has a time limit, and your boy wants to talk more than a minute and a half long. So
that's all they give you.
They give you 90 seconds. So so a lot of my videos are either like 5 seconds over or like 20 seconds over. So all my videos typically get cut off because I can record however long I want on TikTok, but usually it's about 2 minutes long on TikTok. So go check it out there at Qui-Gon Jake everywhere, 2 N's, because someone else took it before I did. I'll be back next week, more than likely on Thursday. It seems to be working out great here in this household so far. Brian, thank you for joining me. Glad to have you back on the mic, man.
I'm so glad I finally got to be on the show.
Yeah, for your second time. Yeah. I'm sure you'll be back. Agatha's coming out, more Marvel discussion. I knew I had to reach out, being that it was such a Marvel heavy show. Worked out perfectly.
I know it's. I haven't gotten to just
talk about things,
just Marvel stuff or anything in so long that was like.
If there's ever anything Marvel related you want to talk about, then just let me know and we'll get it on the show, because it's always a good place to do it. So,
and to see everyone in the chat again.
To everyone who's been watching, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. You guys come back every single week. It's awesome. To all of you, much appreciated. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week, great weekend. Stay safe out there, and I will catch you guys next time. Night, guys.